What's going on, family? It's your guy, Border Like a Libra in the building. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. As you can see by the title, we're picking up the signs through the houses series with Virgo in the ninth house cusp, all right? Before we get into it, I appreciate everybody like, share, subscribe so we could continue to build the community up and circulate these gems, all right? Tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Tap into my website if you'd like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Let's get right into it. Now, I did this video, a week or two ago, and I was real busy that day. I tried to cram the video in. My neighbors was making a lot of noise. Like, as soon as I got time to do the video, they started hammering shit on the wall. So I had to do a bunch of edits, and I wasn't feeling the frequency of that video. I wasn't feeling the rushed product. So I like to take my time and redo this. So shout out to all my Capricorn risings. All right, you may be an Aquarius rising. You may be a Sag rising with Virgo in the ninth house. All right, so let's get right into it. So what is the ninth house? The ninth house represents the area of life, the area of our life that has influence on our education. All right, on our spiritual influences, because this is a spiritually inclined house, is dealing with enlightenment, is dealing with higher education. So we're dealing with education from a spiritual, philosophical perspective, or we're dealing with education, you know, in the matter of, you know, degrees and credentials. We're dealing with experiences. We're dealing with long distance travel, culture, foreign land. We have some influences of in-laws in the ninth house, but overall, this house rules your experiences, and the influences in your ninth house, the ruler, the planets in the ninth house, the sign in this house have a huge influence on what you're going to be experiencing in this lifetime, what you may have a natural pursuit to learn, what you may attract a lot of people, places, and things to teach you. That's another thing about the influence in the ninth house. You know, it's not just so much about your pursuit to learn these things, but what you may attract, the type of teachers you may attract, the type of experiences to teach you things you may attract, what type of demeanor and temperament these experiences may have. All right. So when we look at Virgo, mutable earth. So it's flexible, it's adaptable, it's changeable, it can move, it's mobile, it's the most mobile earth sign. All right. And when I say it's the most mobile earth sign, it does a better job being able to participate in different environments other than Capricorn and Taurus because of its flexible nature to a degree. All right. Now, and it may not even be, when we look at the modalities, not even just condensed to who they're relating their energy with in a sense, but their ability to adapt to other people's perspectives of what they might be building. You know, they have more of a potential to be changeable in that sense. And it's earth, so dealing with structure, stability, practicality, right? Business, organization, stability of all sorts. And then we have the ruler Mercury, all right, which rules the mental body, deals with the mind, communication, how we organize our thoughts. So when we put this in, when we have Virgo in the ninth house, Virgo is known to be somewhat of a skeptical, critical, detail-oriented sign. It can nitpick at things. It could be somewhat even judgmental Virgo energy. So when you put it in the ninth house, these people are going to be highly critical when it comes to different belief systems, religion, spirituality. They could be very tedious about these things. So, you know, if it comes into spiritual challenges or debates, or them trying to get informed based off of certain belief or doctrine, these people are very thorough when it comes into getting into information, getting to the foundation of information within doctrines or spirituality, different religions or whatnot. All right, these people, wherever Virgo's at, you can be research heavy here. You can be inclined to mentally process this area a whole lot. And when it's in the ninth house, one thing about these individuals, whether they are just into spirituality, or they have a religion influence that they align with, they're going to be, there's a high chance for them to be also thorough with understanding, you know, their doctrines, their book, you know, their principles. Virgo's going to be structured like that where it's at. It's going to know You know, it's not just gonna move off the faith. That's the thing here. This is a square, so Virgo's more practical. This is the ninth house that birth Sagittarius. That's more philosophical, free-spirited, dealing with faith, your vision, belief, you know, inspiration. Virgo needs tangible things, concrete things to work with, structure, facts, you know, instructions, manuals. So when you put this in the ninth house, that's what's going to support this person's belief systems, how informed, how things make sense within this system, and you know, they whether you think their religion or their beliefs is false or whatnot, you better be able to be detail oriented if you about to debate them or challenge them, because they're gonna come at you with some, they gonna know their stuff though, like whatever it is to know about their beliefs and whatnot, and how it compares and contrasts to the beliefs of others. They most likely did their research to get there. All right. These people may experience a lot of critique within environments dealing with education or spirituality as well. People may criticize you. So it may be real subconscious that I'm already making scenarios as I'm explaining this, talking about being challenged and debating, because you might experience that with this being a square here. All right. So Virgo being a square here, you may get people trying to challenge your information amongst beliefs. But even in school, these people can thrive in school because Virgo's a very smart sign. Virgo's a very smart sign. So when these people, depending, remember, you got to know where Mercury's at in your chart if you have this alignment. You got to know where Mercury's at, because that influences a whole lot of what we're talking about right now, because the ruler is going to bring whatever it's experiencing in the house that it's into this house. And wherever Mercury's at, you're going to be experiencing in that house a lot. You're going to be learning things in that house a lot. You're going to be inclined to teach things in that house a lot. You know, you may have a lot of episodes in that house. That house may have an influence on your belief system. That house may have what a certain themes in that house Mercury is in may occur within school or within any pursuits when it comes to learning something. So you need to know that. All right. But yeah, Virgo could experience a lot of critique here, whether it's from family, loved ones, close environment, when it comes to them being more, it's like, because the ninth house, we could like incorporate culture in here. And then this individual might be brought up in a certain a Christian family, Islam family or whatnot. And Virgo there might be inclined to do their research. Virgo's very studious. Virgo's very studious. So with it here, they're inclined to dive deep, to go on their own journey and figure it out by themselves. Virgo's not the type of sign that you can just, Virgo's not naive like that, you know. Virgos is not just gonna follow any type of program per se, or belief system without at least feeling like they didn't give themselves a chance to identify details between what they're comparing. So yeah, Virgo there just it's a high potential for them to want to dive into that journey on their own and put the details of things there on their own, compare things with other people's belief systems on their own. One thing here is you got to be careful, because this is a square. The potential friction that could be developed here is might have too many, it might have real linear perspectives of spirituality. So you might looking at things that are faith-based, that are more spiritual based, of the metaphysics, you know, astrology, the occult, and you may be looking at it too linear, too practical at times, you know. So that's just one thing you want to keep in mind with this placement. But other than that, these people, when they're devoted, when it comes to school degrees, getting certain credentials, they handle business in that area most of the time if Mercury is not really conflicted like that. You know, Virgo also has an influence on health. We know Virgo is probably the number one sign that influences things surrounding health, the nervous system, anxiety, mental health, wellness overall. So these people can pursue these things. These might be things that intrigue them, to learn about, or things that they may become physical trainers, anything in the health department, med school, all of that. These people are gonna most likely get, like I said, Virgo studious, but also with that element of it dealing with health. These people may get into deep, even spiritual spirit. This is very likely that, but they may get into spiritual journeys dealing with their diet and their what they consume, and understand the relationship between their wellness and spirituality, diet and spirituality. So whether they teach about that or not, they may end up pursuing knowledge about these things, having that start to alter their lifestyle, and then they could also ultimately become knowledgeable about these things, and be a source of information, source of insight about these things to other individuals. So all of that of the sorts are things that they may pursue, in school, may be intrigued to learn by just by default in general. All right. And the ninth house also has an influence on in-laws. All right. The ninth house has an influence on in-laws. So you may have an in-law, most likely the father-in-law, but you may have an in-law that is real critical of y'all relationship. When y'all getting married, why y'all engaged for so long. You may have some a strong critical, but it may also play out as a very intellectual, informative in-law in some type of shape or form, or they're resourceful, help you to do certain things, put certain things together, work on certain things in some type of shape or form, manage certain things, probably inclined a little bit with finances, and probably informative to help you navigate career in some type of shape or form. So there's some potential for that with Virgo in the ninth house. But yeah, these people, especially if Mercury's like in an air sign, earth sign, air house, earth house. These individuals, when it comes to spirituality, you got to come with some details and facts. Like, if they're a Christian, eventually there's going to be a time where they start thinking, all right, who wrote these books? How many versions of these books are? Why is there so many versions? What was the first version? Are these are really allegories? What do these really represent? Okay, I see how this age and over time we interpret it that way. Virgo got like mad scientist energy, all right? So science is also among things Virgo may be inclined to deal with. So when it gets into the ninth house, it's going to turn into a mad scientist with things dealing with spirituality, They may, and because there's also another mutable sign in this house, and also a sign that likes to learn because it has a Mercury influence, it could, these people, like I said, they can end up studying so many different forms of spirituality, probably know your shit a little bit better than you. So yeah, I just see the friction there. The friction there is just possibly dealing with that extra practical outlook on things that may be a little faith-based, things that you need to allow life to teach you. You need to allow yourself to extract wisdom from certain life experiences instead of trying to get to the details of everything. There's only certain things that life could teach you through experiences, and it's not a research type of thing. So this is what these individuals may have to learn, They may have to learn that. All right. If Mercury is squaring or opposing a planet, that may be a planet that teaches you these things. AKA, like, let's say, so you got Virgo in the ninth house, right? And let's say the ruler, Mercury, let's say it's squaring Venus. So love, relationships, relationship karma, relationship dynamics, your perspectives on love overall. These may be things that you may feel like you're real knowledgeable about. You may feel like you got the right ideals and perspectives on these things, until you experience things with Venus in certain relationships. And now Mercury, connected to your ninth house, starts to dissect things and develop different perspectives and outlooks and new knowledge and wisdom, right, about love, instead of just having Virgo there, the Virgo influence and Mercury constructing its own ideas in the house that you got to experience to develop this wisdom, if you catch my drift. All right. So that's something you want to look out for. But yes, these people can become very knowledgeable with all things surrounding wellness. These people may also manifest being in positions where they are able to manage things within a spiritual sense. They help manage, somebody else putting together spiritual events, retreats, within the church. You probably real active managing, structuring things in the church. Virgo in the ninth house, you probably brought up if your family was Christians, you probably brought up in the church and you was active, like they had you in the choir, you was hands-on. It was part of your routine and schedule, maybe in some type of shape or form. You had to go to Bible study, like you grew up on that. You into astrology and spirituality, you feel me? And into your true spiritual lineage, your ancestors, deities, you into all of that now. You a witch now. But you grew up through the Christian household. You grew up having to be in the choir and get active, and you knew the pastors and you knew the motherfucking deacons, and it may have been had the church or the spiritual foundation through the home or your culture may have been something that became a part of your routine and schedule. It was definitely a part of a format of your life in some type of shape or form. When you put earth in certain areas, remember, things get more realistic. You get more hands-on. You get to, get more active, actually building and dealing with tangible things. So like Virgo in the ninth house, especially Virgo is really great with the hands, carving, sculpting, painting, steadiness. This is why Virgo energy could be like surgeons, because they have the concentration, the mental concentration, Mercury, but then they have the steadiness. So when you put it in when you got that energy influencing around the ninth house, you could just have these individuals that they could thrive in them type of situations, in a sense. Hold on. Trying to see. Virgo in the ninth. But yeah, they get hands-on, good with their hands, get hands-on within the church space. Like I said, might have really been up in the sauce, up in the mix when it comes to those things in your culture or whatnot. But even possibly have potential. Virgo in the ninth house. I think we're gonna wrap it up with this last thing. Virgo in the ninth house may have a black sheep type of influence in the family life culture, within your family traditions or whatnot. You might be the smarty pants one that has to go break off and discover your spirituality on your own, because Mercury is curious, so it's coming in contact with so many other different cultures. The ninth house deals with foreign land, long distance travel. So Mercury is just curious as to see what's abroad, what's out in the world. I know my family, I know I'm from this area, this ethnic group, whatever, but what else is out there in the world? And then when you start actually Virgo manifesting real life situations, Earth, where you get to come in contact and deal with other cultures, different faces and places, and start to learn or dissect different belief systems. This starts shaping this starts shaping this person's true individual belief system here. And that's ultimately what the ninth house is doing. That's ultimately part of what the ninth house is doing with other spiritually inclined houses, helping, putting us in experiences to cultivate our own belief system and connect to our own spiritual family, and really understand spirituality from a true foundation, and not clinging on to the programs and influences that are just naturally thrown at us as soon as we come into this matrix, as soon as we come into this realm. All right, you got to go ahead and walk your own path to either confirm things that were taught to you, or things that really resonate with you and are of true spirituality, true universal law, or things that are just possible programs or things that just been passed down, and you may have to break some of them things. So black sheep energy is needed at times. It helps break curses. It helps breaks, patterns that aren't productive towards, true spiritual development. All right. So those are like the influences, guys, natural influences of Virgo in the ninth house. You want to know where Mercury is at. You want to know where Mercury is at. That's the ruler. You want to know for every sign in the house video you do, for every house in your chart, you want to know more about the area in your life. Find that house lord. Find that house lord. Whatever house that house lord is in, that's where solutions and answers are at. That's where the growth is at. That's where the direction is at. And it also shows you more. You get more in depth as to what conflict you're dealing with in the house when you see the house lord, aka seeing what squares or oppositions is hitting the house lord. Like the example we use with Venus, right? Venus squaring the Mercury for somebody that has Mercury ruling the ninth house. All right, guys, but y'all already know the vibes. This your guy, Border Lucky Libra, tuning in, tuning out. Happy birthday to all the Libras. Hope everybody's enjoying Libra season. Hope you guys got a chance to like, share, subscribe so we can continue to build the community up. All right. Circulate these gems. Tap into the Patreon. You like to dive deeper. Tap into my website. You like to connect with the Lucky Libra. Until next time, folks. Peace.